And so I'll let you know for those joining the video that we're using a yoga strap this morning. And that should be all you need besides your mat and yourself. So let's start making our way over to our mats. And we're going to begin lying down. Well, you could sit up if you like. Some people, lying down, they get post-nasal drip, whatever. You're welcome to sit up. If you like, I'm going to start lying down. And either way, we're going to take a little time to arrive here. So maybe you close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Take a few moments to feel your connection to the ground. If you're lying down, all the parts of your body that contact the floor, really plant your feet into your mat. If you're sitting up, feel that foundation. Set your roots down, sit up nice and tall. And begin by just really noticing how it feels to be where you are. Kind of evaluate the sounds, the smells, the sensations of being where you are. And then draw your awareness inward and just check in with how your physical body is feeling this morning. A lot of us have various issues going on with our bodies, but in this present moment, what's going on? How does your body feel? What parts might feel good, healthy, relaxed? What parts might feel tight or tense? Just kind of notice. Take a moment here to bring your awareness to the roof of your mouth and envision the roof of your mouth broadening out, expanding out towards the sides of your mouth, towards the back of your head, as if the dome shape of your mouth were sort of flattening, broadening out into more of a flat, plain surface. Just allow yourself to experience that spaciousness of imagining the roof of the mouth just continue to go wider, wider out past the confines of your head. And then begin to really connect with the feeling of your breathing. Allow your breath to deepen. Let your in-breath be a little fuller, deeper, more expansive. Allow your out-breath to release and empty. Take whatever time you like now to breathe as deeply as is comfortable for you. Let your full awareness be on this feeling of breathing. Just really experiencing what it feels like to take deep breaths in and out. Really practicing being mindful, paying attention to just what it feels like to be in your body here now, breathing. We can let everything else go now. Let's spend this time really having an experience. with each movement, with each breath, just focusing our awareness on what we're doing. And then we can make good decisions about what we want to do, right? So take one more deep breath in and out. And after that breath has emptied, you can transition to a more natural breath rhythm. And before we begin our movement practice, let's see if we'd like to set an intention this morning. Is there something we'd like to focus on or cultivate or invite in this morning? Love and compassion is always a good one. But maybe there's something else you could use a little more of this morning. So if there's something that you're aware of that you could use a little more of, breathe it in now. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Let's take one knee and hug it in and extend the other leg out straight on the mat. Maybe bounce that knee a few times and let that straight leg be heavy. Then hug the other knee in close. And then draw that knee and open it out to the side and take a breath. And bring that knee back, grab it with both hands, cross the midline, hug it up towards the opposite shoulder, and take another breath. And then bring that knee back and lift the leg up, hold behind the leg, flex your foot, push your heel up, pull your toes towards you, and then point your toes. Do that again, flex and point. And then let's just circle that foot around slowly, moving that foot in all different directions. Nice, really a lot of movement of the foot, circling in one direction and then go the other way. And then with your leg up in the air, just start to slide your hands up the leg. You can bring your head up and bring it towards the legs. You're getting maybe a bigger stretch in the back of the leg. Notice if this knee is bending or this hip is curling. Try to keep that bottom leg straight. And just take a breath here. And then release your head back. Bend that knee, release that foot down, and let's do that all on the other leg. So hug the other knee in, straighten the other leg out, maybe bounce the straight leg and then let it rest into the floor. And then hug that other knee in close. Let's open that knee out to the side and take a breath in. And bring the knee back. Grab it with both hands, cross the midline, hug that knee up towards the opposite shoulder and take a breath. And then bring the knee back, lift your leg up, hold behind the thigh. Let's flex the foot, heel up, toes towards you. And then point your toes up. Do that again, flex and point. And then just begin to circle the ankle, slow and like a lot of movement. So that foot is facing all different directions. And then circle the other way. And then just relax the foot, slide your hands up the back of the leg, lift your head up, get a nice big stretch. Try to keep the bottom leg down as you do this. Take a breath here. And then that straight leg on the floor, hover that straight leg. And then let's switch. So we'll bring that leg up and lower the other leg down, holding behind the thigh or the calf. And then switch. And then switch. And a couple more like that. So you're just starting to wake up the core a little bit here as we continue to stretch the back of the leg. Maybe do 2 more on each leg. And then the next time your leg is up in the air, go ahead and bring both legs up in the air and release your head back. We could take our arms out to our side, or you could just do like cactus arms, bent arms. So we just don't want to use the arms for this next thing. So you don't want your arms pressing down to support this. We're going to let the core do some work here. We're going to take the legs, we're going to make little circles, and then come back to the top. So make a little circle and then bring it back to the top and keep circling in the same direction. And so you probably notice that as you're circling around, your core is working here as your legs are moving. And let's activate the core to try to keep the hips as steady as possible. So you're not rocking and rolling to the side. You're moving your legs, but your hips are staying pretty steady. Circle in this direction one more time, and then change direction. Little circles the other way, and then stopping at the top. Little circles the other way, yeah, that second direction, stopping at the top. Those circles can be little, and when the circles are little, it's not too hard to keep the hips from moving. Circle in this direction one more time. And then we're going to circle in that first direction and see if you can make that circle a little bit bigger. But again, really try to stabilize by like bracing your core. So there's not a lot of rocking and rolling going on in your torso. Circle big circles one more time, and then we'll change direction. Big circles the other way. Just waking up the core by asking it to brace here to support the movement of the legs. Let's go in this direction one more time. Great. Go ahead and bend the knees, take them out wide. Let your hands rest on the inside of the knees, just allowing the hips to open, allowing those inner thighs to get a little bit of a stretch. Breathe. And then let your knees come back. Release your feet down. Let's roll to the side. We're going to be on our side, and we can let our head rest on our arm or support it with something, a pillow or a blanket. Let's stack our knees, so make them parallel. So that top knee is right on top of the bottom knee. Put your hand on your hip. So keep the hip where it is. Try not to let it roll back. And take that top leg, extend it out straight. And without rolling back, take the leg a little bit behind straight. So it's just a little bit behind your torso. And then kind of leading with your heel, go up and down and up and down. So we're working into the hip here now, and down and up and down. Now we're going to make some little circles. Little circles. And again, just like before, we just want movement in the leg. We don't want the hips rocking or moving. Just movement in the leg, and then change direction on your circle. So those hips are really steady. We're just moving the leg around. Good, and then take that leg and swing it forward. And then swing it a little bit behind and point the toe. And then swing it forward. Try to keep it at the height of the hip. And then swing it straight and then point the toe as it goes behind you. Just two more like that. Straight. And then point. And then straight. And then point. All right, let's let that leg come to rest on the other leg. We'll push ourselves up and come around to the other side. Supporting your head in a way that's comfortable. Stacking one knee on top of the other. Knees are parallel. That'll stack the hips, and then keep that hip right where it is as the leg extends straight and then goes a little bit behind straight. And then leading with the heel, we'll just go up and down a few times. Waking up those muscles in the hip, the glutes, the outer thigh. One more time up and down like this. And then we're going to circle. Trying to circle the leg without the hips rolling front and back. We'll circle the other direction. So we're going to try and work on balance a bit today. And balance requires a lot of strength in the legs. All right, so let's have the leg the height of the hip. we're going to swing the leg forward, and then we're going to take it straight and a little bit behind, pointing the toes. And then swing that leg straight, and then take it back and point, and bring the leg straight, flex, take it straight and back and point, and one more time like that. Straight forward, and then back and point. Great, we're going to let that leg rest on the other leg, and we'll come around to all fours. As you arrive here, just take some time to get grounded through your hands, get your knees under your hips, and then just start to do a couple of cat-cows, just in any way you like, just moving with your breath. You can extend your spine and flex your spine. You might move your shoulders, you might move your hips. Just round and flex and do what feels good for a couple of breaths. Maybe really let your breath empty out as you round your back, and take a big breath in as you arch your back. And then begin to transition to a flat back. Let's take one leg and press back through the heel. Reach the opposite arm forward. We'll hold here for a breath, getting nice and long fingers to toes. And then we're going to bend the elbow out to the side and bend the knee out to the side. So kind of an awkward, strange position that really activates the core. And then reach that arm and leg forward and back. So do that again. Bend your elbow out to the side, bend your knee out to the side. Can you have the arm and the knee at the height of the hip and shoulder? And then reach forward and back. 2 more times like that. Bend arm and knee out to the side, and then reach forward and back. As the arm and knee bend out to the side, can you get them at the height of the torso? And then reach forward and back. Hold here for a breath. And then release that hand and knee down. Great, let's do the other side. Press a heel back. Press the opposite arm forward. Take a breath here. And then bend the elbow out to the side, bend the knee out to the side. And then reach forward and back. Do that again. Elbow bends to the side, knee bends to the side. Take a breath. And then reach forward and back. 2 more times. Bending out to the side, nice and high. And then reach forward and back. Last time. Bend out to the side, take a breath, and then reach forward and back. Take another breath here, reaching long, and then release the hand and knee down. Okay. Let's sit back into child's pose. Sit back on your heels, round over your knees, release your forehead down. Let your head rest. Let your body relax, connect with your breath. Consider what you're breathing in this morning, what you're inviting in. And you can allow your intention to shift as you go. If suddenly something arises that feels a little more important to breathe in, then by all means, just breathe that in. Let your breath empty and release one more time. And then when you're ready, lift your head up and reach your arms out and start to make your way to downward facing dog. Feel your hands pressing into the mat. Create some space between your shoulder blades. Let your knees be a little bent as you take your hips way up and back and breathe in. Go ahead and bend one knee and pedal the other heel towards the floor. And then bend that knee and pedal the other heel down. And just alternate bending and pressing. Bending and pressing. Let's bend both our knees a bit more. And again, take the hips way up and back. Deep breath in and out here. Then we'll walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels down. As we're here folded over, let's take a breath into the upper back. Allow the breath to empty. Grounded through the feet, draw your belly in and begin to roll yourself up. Take a little time to unfurl and stack. Feel your spine getting a little more upright. When you eventually lift your head up, ground through your feet and reach your arms out. Take your arms up and overhead. Lift the ribs, lift the heart. Maybe look up. Breathe in. And then exhale your arms down at your side. Let's turn and face forward. We're going to just do some calf raises, some heel raises. So just begin by lifting your heels up and lowering them down. So that's what we're going to do with the lower half of the body. And then with the arms, we're going to circle them forward and up and around and down. Circle the arms forward and up and around and down. Just loosening up those shoulders a bit. Let's change direction with the arm circle. As the heels go up, the arms go up and then down. Circling the arms and down. Couple more. Last one here. Great. All right, so I said we were going to practice psoas walk. So we're going to have our feet hip distance apart, and we're going to take a step back with one foot. And that foot is going to go back, about a foot distance behind the other foot. And you want your feet straight ahead. So rather than feet turned out, we want both our feet facing forward. So it's kind of like we're on a railroad. We're lined up like with the railroad line. So now we're going to bend the front knee and we're going to lift the back heel up. So the heel that's lifted up and back is going straight back, right? So we're going to lower that back heel down. So we're going to lift the back heel up and we're going to let the weight move into the front foot. And then we're going to lower that back heel down. So lift the back heel up and shift the weight into your front foot. That front knee is bent. And then lower the back heel down. So your hips are kind of sliding forward and sliding back. And maybe check that heel is going straight back rather than angled in. And slide your hips forward, lifting the back heel. And slide your hips back. And slide your hips forward. And slide your hips back. So we're going to lift that back heel up, and the weight is going to be in the front foot. Now let's bring our hands to heart here. So we're kind of leaned forward a little bit, right? The weight is in the front foot. We're a little bit leaned forward. And then I want you to lower that back heel straight down for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2. The back heel is down, but we still have the weight in the front foot. And then with the back heel down, begin to lift your sternum up, 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 up. And then let's take the arms and reach them up, letting the ribs and the shoulders slide up, letting the heart lift up. That back heel is heavy, but the heart is lifting up. We'll take a breath in. And then bring your hands back to heart and step your back foot in. You can lower your arms and take a moment here. So that was all about creating some space here in the front of this hip here, lengthening that psoas muscle. So maybe you notice something there, maybe not, no worries. Let's do the other side. Maybe I'll turn sideways this time. So your feet are hip distance apart. You're going to step one foot back, and you want to have that hip distance of your feet and both feet facing forward. All right, so we're going to lift the back heel up. We're going to shift the weight into the front foot, right? And then we're going to lower that back heel down. So can you look back and make sure that that heel is going straight back rather than angled in? So we're going to lift the heel and then lower the heel. And lift the heel and lower the heel. So the hips are kind of sliding forward and sliding back and sliding forward as the heel lifts and sliding back and sliding forward and sliding back. This time we're going to slide the hips forward, and then we're going to lower the back heel really slowly for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and let the heel really heavily drop down, but the weight is still forward in this front foot. We'll bring our hands to heart, and we're going to start to lift the sternum up, 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 and then start to reach the arms up and overhead. And as the back heel is heavy, the shoulders and the ribs slide up, the head lifts up. We'll take a breath in and then bring our hands back to heart and step the back foot in. And sometimes if you have some tightness in your hip flexors, you might feel a sense of opening or a sense of release here. So maybe you feel something, no worries if you don't. Let's make our way to the front of our mats, and we'll do a little flow here. So starting really planted, rooting down, take the arms out, and inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale and swan dive forward. Let's bring our hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog and take a breath here. We'll exhale to straight arm plank, and we'll take another breath here. As we exhale, let's bend the elbows a bit, trying not to let the hips sink here. Take another breath. As we exhale, let's come all the way down onto belly, into prone mountain, sliding the heels of the hands back. As we inhale, let's come up to baby cobra, and then we'll lift our hands up. Lift the elbows up and squeeze in towards the midline. And then release the hands and release the chest. This time, hands down. Let's inhale up to baby cobra, or perhaps come up a bit higher into cobra. And then exhale back down. And then let's make our way up and back to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here. Let's look a little forward and walk our feet up towards our hands. We'll plant our feet beneath us. And then we'll sweep the arms out. Inhale and rise up. And exhale, arms down at our side. Let's do that again. Inhale and reach out and up. Exhale and swan dive forward. Hands to the floor, step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Exhale to straight arm plank. Take another breath here. Exhale, little bend in the elbows. Take another breath here. Exhale all the way down. Inhale up to baby cobra or cobra. And exhale back down. And make your way up and back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here. Now, option to drop to knees and step your right foot forward, or inhale your right leg up and then exhale that knee up and in, stepping forward into lunge. So we all arrive in a right foot forward lunge, letting the hips lower down here. Let's push into the front knee, inhale and straighten the front leg and straighten up. We'll bring our hands to hips and square our hips to the front short line of our mat. Let's bend the front knee and push the foot down to straighten. Bend the front knee and push down to straighten. 2 more times, we're gonna bend and straighten. This time we're gonna just bend the knee and keep it bent. Let's drop the arms down and sweep them forward and up and overhead. Let's take a big breath in as the arms reach up. And then exhale our hands all the way down. Step back to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here. Exhale to straight arm plank or a little bend in the elbows. And then we'll lower all the way down. We'll inhale up to baby cobra or cobra and exhale back down and make our way up and back to down dog. Breathing in and out here. Option to drop to the knees and step the left foot forward, or inhale the left leg up in the air. Bend the knee, hug it up and in, and step that foot through to lunge. Get into this left foot forward, low lunge, and then push into the front foot. Rise up, straightening that front leg. Hands on hips, square your hips forward. And then let's bend the front knee. Push down to straighten the front leg. Bend the front knee and push down to straighten. Again, bend and straighten. This time we'll bend the front knee and keep it bent. Let's drop the arms down, sweep them forward and up and overhead. Lifting up, breathing in here. And we'll exhale our hands all the way down, step back to downward facing dog. Again, take a breath in. And then lower to straight arm plank. Maybe a little bend in the elbows. Take a breath here. And then lower all the way down. Let's come onto forearms. Get your elbows right under your shoulders. Push down to lift the chest. Curl the toes under. You can come up to knees, or you can lift your knees in a full forearm plank here. Press your forearms down. Create space across your upper back. And we can just hold a static forearm plank, or maybe circle your hips around a little bit. Circle center, side, up and around. Circle center, side, up, other side. Maybe circle in this direction 1 or 2 more times. And then you might circle the other way. Side, up, side, center. This is called stir the pot. Gets that core really working. Maybe circle around 1 more time. And then hold your plank for 1 more breath. And then lower yourself down. Let's let the chest sink down, elbows wide. Let your head rest on your hands. Let everything relax as you breathe in and out. And then let's press the hips down and lift the legs up. Hug your heels in towards your midline. Maybe your heels touch, maybe they just hug in. And then separate the legs the natural width apart. Again, hug your heels in, you still have the legs lifted. And then separate. 1 more time, hug your heels in. And then separate. Can you go a little longer, lift a little higher, take a breath. And then lower down. Bring your arms to your side, palms up. Reaching back through the fingertips, let's press the hips down and lift the legs again. And then we'll pull the heart forward and lift the chest. Can you get any longer? Can you lift any higher? And take 1 more breath. And then lower down. Nice work. Let's bring hands next to chest and push ourselves up and back and sit back into child's pose. Your arms could be out in front in extended child's pose, or you could have your head resting on your arms. Take a moment to connect and breathe here. And then when you're ready, lift your heads up, reach your arms out, make your way to down dog. Breathe in and out here. Let's walk our hands back towards our feet again, lowering our heels, fold it over. And then we're going to bend the knees and lower the hips. Sweep the arms forward, sitting back in our low chair. We could keep the arms forward or reach them up alongside our ears. We'll take a breath in and out here. Let's push into our feet and legs to inhale and rise up, reach up. And then exhale, arms down at our sides. Great. All right, we're gonna just do a little balance work here. So right where you are, find your mountain posture. Really root down through your feet. Send your roots down so that you feel a really solid foundation. And when we root down, it can help us to stand up nice and tall. We're going to balance on one foot. So you can kind of shift the weight into that one foot, root it down. You could have your hands on your hips here. And then let's lift the other knee up. Just lift the knee up. Flex the foot and just hold this balance. Just think about rooting down through your standing leg. Feel the strength in that leg, the strength in the core, the length in the spine. Feel your breath. Feel your body. Offer yourself some kindness, some love, some compassion. Take one more breath. And then release that foot down. Again, reground yourself. Feel that stability, that connection, that rootedness that comes from setting your roots down. And then when you're ready, shift your weight into your second foot and then just lift the other knee up. You can flex the foot and just be here. Rooting down, standing tall, strong and steady. Feel your breath. Feel your body. And if you're struggling, just give yourself a little love and compassion. It's fine. We're just practicing. And then go ahead and set that foot down. Because balance is all about practicing, right? It's never perfect. I mean, some days we do pretty well, but none of us have perfect balance. But we work on it, right? We practice. That's what it's all about. All right, so we're standing at the back of our mat. Let's go ahead and inhale, arms up. Exhale and swan dive forward. And we're going to walk out into a plank. Make your way into your plank position. Take a breath. Let's roll to the sides of the feet and lift one arm up. Nice, strong side plank. Maybe lift your hips up, lift your waist up a little bit more. Broaden from your bottom shoulder to your top shoulder and take another breath. And then go back to your plank. Hold here for a breath. And then roll to the other side, and lift the other arm up. Lift that bottom side waist up. Feel long from your heels to your crown. Take one more breath. And then come back to your plank. And lift up and back to your down dog. Breathe in and out here. Now again, we could drop to the knees and step the right foot forward into lunge, or lift the right leg up in the air, bend that knee, hug it in, look forward and step through to lunge. We get into this low lunge again. And then let's come to externally supported lunge, forearms on the front thigh. Let's find length from heel to crown, and then bring hands to heart. So internally supported lunge. Let's take a breath here. As we exhale, we're going to twist to the right. And hands could stay to heart, or elbow could go to the outside of the knee to deepen the twist. Take one more breath here. and then unwind yourself. Now we could stay, or no, yeah, let's bring our hands down and step back to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And then again, we could drop to knees and step the left foot forward into lunge, or lift the left leg up, hug that knee up and in, step that foot through to lunge, get into our low lunge. And then externally supported lunge, forearms on the front thigh. Find length, heel to crown. Transition to internally supported lunge, hands to heart. Take a breath here. Exhale and twist to the left. Hands could stay to heart or elbow to the outside of the knee. Take a breath in your twist. And then unwind yourself. Bring your hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here. You could just stay here if you like, or we could flow one more time into straight arm plank or bent arms, lowering down to belly, inhaling up to baby cobra or cobra, exhaling back down, making our way up and back to down dog, breathing in and out here, looking forward, walking our feet up, planting our feet beneath us, and then we'll reverse swan dive. Sweep the arms out, inhale and rise up, reach up, and exhale, arms down. All right, so continuing our work on balance. So if your balance is kind of challenged this morning, you might want to have a chair nearby or a wall. You're welcome to use something to support you. So like if you had a chair, you would bring it maybe right in front of you like this. So we're gonna do very similar to what we did before. We're gonna plant our feet, find our nice tall mountain posture, shift the weight into the first leg and lift the other knee up. Let's have our hands to heart this time. So we're just lifting that knee up, flexing the foot. And you could just stay here, or could we start to tip the hips forward and start to swing the leg back, extend the leg out, and try to bring the leg and the torso parallel to the floor into balancing warrior. So with your chair here, you might just hold on to the chair for a little support. Hands could stay to heart. You could reach your arms forward, or you could reach your arms out wide. So lots of options here. Take a breath here in your balancing warrior. And then can you transition back up to standing? Bringing that knee back up. And then releasing that foot down. And then, forgiving yourself if you wobbled, or breathing in a dose of love and kindness and acceptance for all of our flaws, because there's much that's wonderful about us, but not every day is a perfect day for balancing, right? And then when you're ready, let's do beginner's mind. So let go of that whole experience of what happened on the first side. Imagine this is your first side. Ground down to stand tall. Bring your hands to heart. When you're ready, shift your weight to your second foot, even though this is our first side, and lift your knee up. And you're welcome to just hang out here again. Or could you start to tip your hips forward and start to extend that leg back as you try to bring your leg and your torso more parallel to the floor. And your hands could go to the chair, your hands could stay to heart, your arms could reach forward or out to the side. And we'll hold here for a breath. And then can we start to come back up? And some of us might have more challenges than others. Could we bring the knee up and take a breath. And then lower it down. Good work. I found that challenging. Maybe you did too. All right, let's come into a wide stance. Now we'll turn the right foot in. We'll turn the left foot out. And we can have our hands on our hips and we'll just bend and straighten the front knee a couple times. Feeling that back foot really solidly on the floor. Let's bend the front knee and keep it bent. Tip the hips over, letting the bottom arm rest there. We'll take this other arm, let's sweep it overhead. Thumb up, pinky down. We're gonna roll the belly and chest under that arm, reach that arm long. Breathe in and out here. And we can stay just like this or take the bottom arm and bring it up as well. We'll breathe in and out here. And let's start to straighten ourselves up. And then we'll straighten that front leg. And then we'll lower our arms. Bring the feet forward. We'll go to the second side. So turn the back foot in. Turn the front foot out. Hands on hips. Begin to bend and straighten your front leg. Yeah, one more time like that. And then let's bend the front knee and keep it bent. Tip the hips over. Forearm on the front thigh. Other arm is going to sweep up and overhead. Thumb up, pinky down. And then roll under that arm. Reach long with that top arm and take a breath. And let it go. Then if you like, take the other arm and sweep it overhead as well. Breathe in and out here. And then bring your torso upright, your arms reach overhead, and then straighten your front leg. And then release your arms. Great. Let's turn both feet forward, and we're just going to walk our feet in. Great. We're going to make our way down to the floor. And you're going to want to have your strap nearby. You could be sitting up on a blanket now, if that would help you to feel less like you're leaning back. Just kind of sit a blanket or a block under your bum. Let's bring our feet together. Let our knees drop open. We could hold on to our ankles, or it might be helpful to have your hands behind to help you sit up straight. Either is fine. As you're here, begin to press your feet into each other. Kind of working the inner line of the legs. Knees might come up a bit as you push your feet into each other. Take a breath. And then let that go. And then begin to press your knees away from each other. Push them out. And take a breath. And let that go. And then try to do both. Push your feet together. Push your knees apart. Root down. Sit up tall. And take a breath. And let it go. Great. All right. So let's keep one knee bent and straighten the other leg out. Place that foot against the thigh. Here's where we're going to use our strap. We're going to loop it around the ball of the straight leg, foot. And we're going to hold on to it. So if this leg isn't comfortable being like this, you could support the hip, or you could have the leg out to the side. So adjust as works best for you. But in this straight leg, press your heel down and push your foot into the strap, kind of like you're pushing on the gas pedal. So there's a lot of action in this leg, and you got something to hold on to, so you can root down and sit up nice and tall. And for some of us, sitting up tall is challenging, just to be in this degree of hip flexion. Some of us might be able to keep the spine long. We'll breathe in and then hinge forward from the hip. And some of us might only be able to go a little angle forward, and some of us may be able to go further. So just explore how far you can hinge forward without bending at the waist or bending at the neck, just hinging from the hip. So you're coming straight towards that leg. Your hands can walk down the strap. Some of you may be able to grab your foot without rounding your back. So take a breath here in this hip flexion, spine long. And then as you exhale, go ahead and let your low back round, your mid back round, your upper back round, and let your head release. If this is too much of a stretch on the front leg, you can put a bend in the knee. So if it's too much on your low back or anything, just bend the knee. Let's breathe into the back body and let the breath empty. And then just draw your belly in a bit and roll yourself back up. Great. Go ahead, just leave the strap on the floor. Bring this bent knee up and cross that foot over. And then same arm as the leg that crossed over, that arm goes behind. Root yourself down, sit up nice and tall, breathe in, and then spiral around towards that back arm into a twist. Ribs, chest, shoulders, head and neck. Breathe in and out here. Let your exhale be a release and a letting go. Do that again. Deep breath in and let it empty. And then unwind yourself back around. Great. Take this leg that you crossed over, straighten that leg out. Take the other leg and place your foot against your thigh. And then take your strap, have it around the ball of the foot. Holding onto the strap, press your heel into the floor and push your foot into the strap so you have something to hold on to bring you upright. Maybe upright is far enough for you. Maybe you have the ability to hinge forward. Has a lot to do with the structure of our hips here. So, and it might, if your hamstrings are tight, you might need to bend your front knee a bit here. So can you hinge forward? And how much can you hinge forward? Just kind of explore. So you're not bending at the waist or at the neck. The spine is one long unit. Take a breath here in your hinged position, your hip hinged position. And then we're going to round. So feel free to bend that straight leg knee as you round your low back, your mid back, your upper back, and your head. And then breathe into that rounded back and let your breath empty out. And draw your belly in and roll yourself back up. You can just leave the strap there, take this bent knee up, and then cross that foot over. Same arm as the crossed over leg goes behind. Root down, feel your spine up nice and tall, breathe in. And then spiral around the line of your spine. Your arm can change as you go. Twist around towards that arm that's behind you. And then take a couple of breaths in and out here. Let your exhale be a full releasing and emptying out. And then release yourself back around to facing forward and uncross that leg. Great. All right. We're going to transition to our final relaxation. So at this point, if you wanted to put on a layer, you could do so now. Some socks perhaps, or extra something. If you want to grab something to put under your head or under your knees, you can do that now. We're going to just lie back with extended legs. Just let our arms find a comfortable place to be. And your body very naturally, when you lie back and you set yourself up to be comfortable, your body very naturally is going to start to relax. So allow the wisdom of your body to take over here. Allow your body to relax. The body is wise. It does so much for us without us asking it to do things like digestion, respiration. heating, cooling. And it'll relax as well, but sometimes we have patterns and habits that keep that from happening. So we might need to nudge and remind the legs to relax. Allow the hips to settle, the belly to soften. Allow the shoulders and arms to release into the floor. Allow the head to be heavy and all the facial muscles to soften and release. Smooth out. Relax. So that we can rest easy now. Body and mind at ease. Just resting here now as you are. As you're lying back, I invite you to drop these phrases into your awareness. The first one is, may I be kind to myself in this moment. May I be kind to myself in this moment. The next one is, may I accept this moment exactly as it is. May I accept this moment exactly as it is. And then, may I accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. May I accept myself exactly as I am in this moment. And then finally, may I give myself all the compassion I need. May I give myself all the compassion I need. So you're welcome to continue lying back for as long as you like. If you're ready to transition, you might begin by opening your eyes You might bend your knees and bring your feet to the floor. Gently roll to your side. Take a few moments there to transition. And then maybe slowly, gradually make your way up to sitting and find a comfortable seat. And bring your hands to heart. Close out your practice with whatever feels right for you. Sometimes I like to choose gratitude. So grateful to have this practice with you all this morning. I wish you all a really glorious day. Peace.